One of the things, guys, on these river otter you don't want to do, after you flesh this thing, don't freeze it. Don't put it back in the freezer. If you're going to flesh them, you're going to stretch them. And that's the way it'll be, because this pelt will freeze or burn terrible bad on you if you try to put it back in the freezer at this point. You've just about done here. There's no need in fleshing it and then putting it back in the freezer. You're within a few minutes of being done. So go ahead and stretch this otter. I turned him right side back out. Normally I don't do that. I go right on and stretch him at the time. So I do things on river otters somewhat the cheap way, if you will. There's no need in me buying more boards and new boards and everything else. I've got what I need at the house. This stretcher here is a number 5 coon stretcher. You have to have the size because of the length. Slide him right up in there. I will tell a little story on a couple of our agents there. They put the tag through the otter and the stretcher, and then they had to cut the stretcher off. I tell you, you'll learn about tagging and stuff. Pull him down taut. I use a couple simple pieces of balum wire here. I put a little hook on them. I put a little notch in the top of that leather on the foot. Hook that in there. Pull him right down to the bottom of the stretcher. We just had a newcomer come in here that knows something about stretching otter. Never seen that, have you?
No, I haven't. Yeah. Sure is.
Simple knife, do a little trimming as you go here. Grip that with them pliers, trim it off. That's what you want to see. Pull them back legs down with that piece of wire down to the bottom of the stretcher. Now if you got wooden stretchers, pull him down, pin him. Okay, kind of got it there? Then I just take a simple knife and come right back up around the ears. Any kind of membrane left there on the ears I take off. Normally when I skin, I take the bottom lip off and leave on the carcass. This one here is a little ragged, so I'm going to trim it up just a little bit. Everything that I'm doing here is basically for the fur market, not for a taxidermist market or anything like that. This is the way you would do this pelt for the raw fur market. My front legs, the membrane around there, you need to trim that off, and you can trim these front legs again. Will make it look a whole lot better. Okay, and I turn him around. We're going to want a nice window in here so we can see what we're doing. See what the fur looks like. This is an inspection window that we tell how prime the pelt is, what kind of guard hair he has on him and stuff like that. The way I skin them, it's pretty close. You don't need much. You need to trim up what's loose here and floppy, if you will. Didn't even get, I got it cut. You can see the back of the fur. Okay. The last thing I like to do is work with this tail. That's always an issue. Now here again, I just use a simple mink board and I slide it up on the inside. Kind of pull it down taut. And then I pin the tail out. Now we've got some guys here from some of the international auctions that might frown at me a little bit, but I like to keep that tail long and straight. Simple push pins, 7 or 8 of them usually gets it. A mink board works real well. Any kind of a board will work. A mink board is nice and thin, so you don't have to worry about bulging the pelt. Get that straighter. But you can kind of see how I've got the tail down there. That's perfectly fine. One of the things about pleating the tails and bringing them up, I was real concerned about if you were using a heat in your dryer, you might spoil that. If there was too much of that flesh touching together, you might spoil that. So in my dryer that I use at home, I run the temperature between 75 and 80 degrees. I didn't want to take the risk of losing or damaging the pelt by pleating it up real short. But this is basically a done pelt for me. I'll hang it in a dryer. It'll take between 3 and 7 days to dry it. Optimal temperature for drying is 60 degrees, 65 degrees in the dark with some air moving through there. Now you can put a little air on this pelt. I'm not worried about him now near as bad as I was an hour ago. He's fine out here now. I don't like the sunshine because that'll make it dry darker. And it'll look a little more unprimed if it dries in the sunshine. So I like dark room, 60, 65 degrees, take a week to dry them. You're talking about the best product you could have. I hope we've helped you. Like I say, anytime, give me a call. We've got some good buyers out here. We've got some professional people trying to help us with all this. Feel free to make some phone calls and ask questions because it's important. We don't want you to waste the product. We have a beautiful product here and we want you to do it right. And there's plenty of people out here that are willing to help. So take time, make the phone calls, go over and visit and do the best you can for the animal. Thank you.